Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead. Don't forget to click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar for today, there's no high-impact Canada news scheduled, and with the US enjoying President's Day holiday, the currencies have stalled around the US dollar index and the 97 level. But the commodities should see the metals and oils try and push higher, while the global markets with the indices and equities also maintaining their trends after a strong finish this last week. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Starting off looking at the currency market, specifically the US dollar index, and taking note that today is President's Day, so it's a holiday out of the US. So there are quite a few markets that are not going to be traded today. So I'm going to be having a slightly sort of more reserved look at the markets over the next 24 to 36 hours. Really looking here at the US dollar has had a strong rejection on Friday, pulling back into the moving averages, and I'm looking to see if by tomorrow morning we get a strong bullish candle, which might imply that price is going to take another run at that 97 level. It'll be the same with the euro US dollar. Having come back into a level of support and resistance, potentially producing a rejection candle, implying that it wants to take another hit lower or another run lower towards that level 1.125 level. Alternatively, if it does continue to head high and break these, then the rest of the week it looks as though we'll get a stronger euro and weaker US dollar. Cable, having had a strong run down over the last couple of weeks, pulling back into a level of resistance. It's exactly sitting at that line where it can choose to go either way, so I'll be interested to see what happens over the next 24 hours. Euro CAD and some of the CAD charts having done a 360, a 180 on Thursday, and then reversing again on those positions on Friday, basically back down towards these lows. So that my expectation for that today is just to continue heading a little bit lower on that. But the market may well be a little bit listless today, just without the US taking part. And then CAD Swissy, for the moment, looking at CAD Swissy similar to Euro CAD, expecting CAD Swissy to actually continue to head higher. CAD Swissy here expected to just continue to head higher up to that 0.762 level and test that for resistance. And that's it in terms of currencies for today. So having a look at the commodities, looking at gold here and performing very, very nicely Friday and expecting to continue higher. However, the only thing that I am concerned about is this continued bearish divergence, almost getting equal highs on price action here, but lower highs on the MACD. So just overall waiting on a reaction against a key level there where we'll get a deeper retracement, but those trades haven't gone into profit nicely. Silver, this is looking at it on a monthly time frame. I am again concerned about this bearish candle. I really would like to see us close above this level historically, which has been quite strong. Get us back over that line, because if we fail to do that, we finish with a bearish candle, we break the low of that in March, we're then likely to see this downtrend resume, and I'd actually ultimately would be very nice to see it break up above and see some good trending opportunities on this. Of course we can trade it to the downside as well, but it just seems to be trending better at the moment to the upside. Palladium continuing to break new highs, break through these levels of resistance, and also we've got MACD looking really nice in terms of that bullish momentum continuing on upwards there. So effectively expecting Palladium to continue trending upwards. It seems very, very happy. Taking into account that some of the US holiday might have some of the US markets closed, so just caution with those. But also crude oil here looking nice and bullish. Expecting this to break these highs before the end of the month, and ideally this week as well, and continue on high, and then changing that medium-term future for crude oil, this being Brent as well, looking nice and strong, but some of these markets potentially closed today, and so again I'll have to revisit how that is tomorrow. And just commenting on the cryptos quickly, they're really just staying within their ranges here below that 4,000, so no real trading opportunities at this point in time in terms of nice, strong, healthy, sustainable trends at the moment, both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then likely to be the remainder of the cryptos and digital currencies also, all of those staying pretty much within their lower ranges and just moving on very small movements on lower time frames. Taking a look at the global indices, and overall these trends are relatively stable and intact. Not sure how the US lack of trading today is going to impact these markets. They might ultimately retrace. There's a little bit of divergence showing in here on the S&P 500. Let's have a look at the tech. US Tech 100, this being the Nasdaq. Nice bullish candles as well, finishing up end of last week and looking a little bit flat on that MACD, but overall the trend structure looking nice and intact. It's really when we get to sort of non-US markets where that bullishness looks pretty good, implying that these markets are going to continue high. We've got the UK 100 but creating a little bit of a swing high here, so we might get price retracing back into the previous highs during this week, getting a re-entry opportunity as the markets attempt to make a fresh high by the end of Friday or by the end of this week. Germany 30 as well, having broken through that level of support resistance and producing a very strong support signal here on the weekly time frame. So I'd like to see it break the high of that and ultimately break some of these previous highs, and that would imply a medium to longer term shift on Germany 30 as well. Hong Kong Hang Seng here producing another swing low, so entry opportunity there on Friday, looking nice and bullish on the tail end of last week, and actually looking as though it very much wants to continue higher. All of this looking relatively healthy, a little bit flat on the MACD, but again, these markets are likely to continue without that reaction. Australia here, the Australia 200 encountering a little bit of resistance, still looking to get over that line and push on a little bit higher. So all of these charts showing that potential, although they've slowed a little in the last, let's call it 48 trading hours, they all still seem pretty keen on either consolidating for a bit and continuing onwards, or outright just continuing to push a little bit higher throughout today. And lastly, for today, looking at these selected equities in focus, starting off with Netflix. So these previous ones, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, all producing sort of bearish sideways days on the tail end of last week and not really having gone anywhere. Netflix here, with that sort of bearish divergence that I spoke about, it attempted to get out, come back below that level, bit of a rejection candle here. So it's not really yet, the indicator's not looking that bullish, not really expecting much there. But Microsoft, on the other hand, performing very, very nicely, having now broken out through that level. All of this looking very different in terms of that momentum, that bullish trending upwards, supporting price heading out through that level. My expectation today is to, certainly over the next 48 hours, to see Microsoft continue to climb. So that looks very, very nice. Boston Scientific, I was waiting for a retracement to test that previous level of resistance. I was looking ideally for price to come in and test this level here. However, it's produced a bullish candle and is continuing on already unabated, but this area being a very nice potential entry to get into that. It looks as though it's pretty much kind of done that already. However, if we do get a subsequent pullback, I'll still be looking for entries from that area. Now, on to the more bearish of the bunch. Actually, all of these that I've usually been expecting downtrends from that have been bullish over the last couple of months, they continue to be bullish, which is really, really good. This is a very, very good sign. And you can see here bullish candles last week not heading lower, which is basically what they would have done if they were bearish. Barclays as well. Also, all of these charts are basically looking more bullish than bearish. Certainly here heading higher, that's now an uptrend, high lows, high highs, and standard charts at all of them pretty much the same, all looking very nice and bullish. This wants to head on higher, and so this is very encouraging. Basically, this is saying that if the most bearish of the lot over the last couple of quarters or the last 6 months are continuing to look bearish, this supports the idea that there are definitely bulls in the market, and they're looking for undervalued equities and looking to push those higher. So all of this is quite encouraging, and it supports the idea that most of the indices will attempt to climb at least this week. So on that note, ladies and gents, I want to wish you a wonderful week, and if it's trending, I'll be there. Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.